Apple is also, I suspect, going to be a big focus of the session ahead. And we've got some great news coming through, well, great reporting coming through from Bloomberg. It's not the, it's basically doubling down on the iPhone X. Bloomberg has learned that the world's most valuable company plans to launch 3 new phones very soon that kind of keep the edge-to-edge screen design of last year's flagship X launch, but get a bit bigger and get a bit more colourful. Joining us now from Hong Kong is Robert Fenner, Bloomberg News Asia Technology Team Leader. Is bigger better? Is that what we're learning from Apple this morning?
It certainly seems to be the case. They know that that's what the consumers are drifting towards. Particularly in Asia, consumers like having a big screen. They like that extra real estate. They don't typically carry a smartphone and a tablet, so they want something larger. And with Apple aiming for the iPhone at a 6.5-inch screen, it's kind of hoping that they're going to capture all of that market. So it really is a thing that consumers have opted for. I think anyone who's ever tried to read online news on an old-fashioned smartphone, the ones of 10 years ago, is wondering how their eyes can still work. But that's what the bigger screens are doing. It's particularly good for watching videos and games, and that's the strategy Apple's tapping into.
It's great reporting here, and one of the things that we're also learning is that they're going more colourful, and we're getting various other things that are being thrown at the consumer as well. But I'm confused a little bit. Kind of, how does a consumer work out kind of what they're getting and how much they should pay for it?
That is indeed going to be the challenge, because according to what people familiar have told us, the most expensive phone will be a 6.5-inch screened iPhone, similar to the iPhone X, iPhone 10 of last year. There's also going to be an upgrade to the iPhone 10 at 5.8 inches. Now, both of those will use OLED screens, which are sharper, the lower power using screens. But then in the middle, but actually going to be the cheapest, is a 6.1-inch iPhone that's going to use an LCD, a liquid crystal display screen. So it's not necessarily going to be the bigger, the more expensive. What they're really going to be counting on is for people to understand the difference between an OLED screen and an LCD screen. Both very high definition screens, and something that really the aficionados get, but I'm not sure the average consumer will. So that's going to be a bit confusing. The other challenge is working out what you call them. You know, now that they're up to the iPhone 10, they're kind of running out of numbers.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm waiting for my iPhone XIII at some point down the road. Robert, help me with the idea of a better chip and the idea of a new generation of phones versus that mid-markup S phone. Is this essentially an iPhone XS, or is it going to be an iPhone XI, iPhone 11?
It's more going to be an iPhone XS. You know, S tends to be the year 2 of most of their product launches. They've done it with phones for going back, 10 years, where they're bringing in an S model the year after a radical design change. So you're going to see that the phones, in terms of the shape, looking similar, particularly the iPhone XS, we'll call it that for now. That's going to certainly look a lot like last year's. There'll be different colours to try and differentiate, and they're going to mix it up between glass and stainless steel. So there will be ways to differentiate, but it's going to be largely a focus on inside the device rather than the external.
Yeah, it must be the end of August where we look towards Apple and their back-to-school blitz to Christmas as well.